Well, hello and good day to all of you wonderful viewers out there. Hi, I'm Awesome Joe, and thank you guys so much for taking the time of your day to watching another episode of Awesome Joe's Play Back-to-Back Movie Reviews. And yes, we are going to be talking about very late to the party here for Moonfall. This is already about 2 weeks now out in theaters, and this is a Roland Emmerich movie. Of course, he is the kind of director that is really fond of doing disaster movies. Of course, obviously, like Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow, 2012, Godzilla, and so many others. But Moonfall is, yes, of course, another disaster movie that Roland Emmerich has come up with. And honestly, when I saw the trailer for the first time, the very first trailer for this movie, I honestly have to say, I thought it was genius. I thought it was a really good idea. We've never seen this before. Good original material, and that's what that's what I'm looking for. I want to see these movie filmmakers come up with their own stuff. I really want them to come up with those ideas and make it into a movie. So this is what he does, and I'm thinking, the moon crashing into the earth. What a phenomenal idea. But here's the problem, is the movie came out, and I watched the movie, and I have to honestly say, there is probably a less amount of the film that I could go ahead and say that it was a movie that really drew me in. That I could say that this was actually not a bad disaster movie. Not something that I would say it's Oscar worthy. No way. But there were some parts of it that I'd have to say that I really admired it a lot more than what Emmerich did with Independence Day Resurgence. Because that movie was god-awfully just a disaster of itself. And I don't know, just this one, it had some aspects of the feel of what they did with Independence Day Resurgence, but yet it also had the feel as well of 2012, and I actually liked 2012. But I don't know, this movie, it stars Patrick Wilson playing Brian Harper, who is an astronaut, and then we also have, along with him, Halle Berry, who's playing the character of Jocinda Fowler. These are main characters to the movie, and at the beginning of the movie starting, they experienced this thing that happened 10, 11 years ago with an attack from some nanobite-ish, alien-looking type of mist technology that crashes into them in space and lands on the moon. And then that's all that we see from there. And according to NASA, that their stories were just made up, and that it's just a cover to avoid any of this kind of suspicious activity occurring, which really puts these two in a very complicated position in their lives, both personal and professionally. Like they go through divorces. Their children grow up to be complete adolescents, so it really takes a huge toll in their life. So all of that, I'm because it's all character development that's going on. You also have this other main character, Casey, played by John Bradley, and I've never seen the show, but I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with this actor being on Game of Thrones. Never seen Game of Thrones, but he does look very familiar. I feel like I've seen him someplace else, but most memorably, people would know him more off of Game of Thrones. Then you get another character, Michelle, which is played by Kelly Wu. You got, this is the one that I don't like, is this character called Sonny Harper, which is the son of the main character, Brian Harper, Patrick Wilson's son, played by Charlie Plummer. Okay. I honestly don't like this kid. I really didn't like him. There was a part in the movie when the shuttle took off to go on their mission to the moon, and this kid just decides to pull over and just watch them take off. When you have this massive monsoon coming, time is wasting, and you're just standing there. And honestly, there was really nobody in the theater. There was like maybe, 3 or 4 other people in the theater. But, I don't know, for me, I literally shouted out, "What the F are you doing, you complete dumb, this and that." I don't like to curse on my videos, but, literally I was just, yelling at this character saying, "What are you doing, dude? Get in the freaking car. You got people that you are told to take care of and take off. Forget about let them take care of themselves. You worry about yourself, dude." It was like, you don't, you having to just standing there watching this thing happening isn't going to make you feel any better or stay alive, for the sake of it all. So it's like, get in the dang car and, or the Humvee and freaking zoom out of there, man. Because you got freaking water coming in, and once when you see the water dam coming, it's like, yeah, now you want to get in the damn Humvee and take off. It's like, this character really just, he annoyed me. I'm sorry, I know that adolescent children are very, it's a continuous and inevitable thing. I mean, that's just what children go through. But this one, I don't know, it just really just boiled my blood, man. It was something that really it really ticked me off about the movie. And the fact that they really gave him a big part in the movie, just for the sake of being the Earth level characters, telling us what's going on Earth in the meantime, while our heroes are going out trying to stop the moon from collision coursing into the Earth. So I don't know. It's just when the beginning of the movie started and we see this nanotech alien technology looking thing, right away I said, honestly, really, this is where we're going towards? I mean, Emmerich, you already did a disaster movie based off of Alien, so why in the world are we going back to doing the same darn thing? I honestly thought it was going to be like 2012 all over again, where this is just a natural disaster. This is something saying that the moon is it's doing it just because. And I like it. I love the fact that the moon falling does affect, the ocean's current and causing tsunamis, this and that. I actually liked all that, and I like that it was part of the movie, being part of the disaster that occurs throughout this thing. But yes, also as well too, it's extremely overwhelming. I mean, honestly, there's just so much that goes on, and I'm like thinking to myself, how in the world is Earth going through all of this mumbo jumbo and yet still stay in one piece? I mean, and I don't know. There's other characters in this movie, which is Holden Field, played by Donald Sutherland, which is only in one scene. I don't really find the very meaning of him even being in it. Feels like another Michael Bay movie. Then you get Tom Lopez, which is actually the annoying teenager's stepdad, played by Michael Pena, which I didn't even know that was in the movie, and I found that his character was extremely annoying as well. And then for some odd reason, if you are a stepdad in a Roland Emmerich movie, chances are you're going to die. Because that's what happened to this character, and that's what happened to the other character in 2012. If you're a stepdad and you're in a disaster movie directed by Roland Emmerich, chances are you're going to get killed off. And that's what happened with Michael Pena. Why did he get killed off? No idea. I mean, honestly, they don't even show that the main character and his ex-wife get back together, or is there even a love interest between the two? Unlike what happened in 2012, they killed off the stepdad, the new husband, just so that the original husband and her can get back together in the end of the movie and be one big happy family. That's not the case that happened here. So why in the world did you kill off this character for? Not that I really care. Not that the character had any meaning to the movie. I just felt that the part of that happening really didn't. There really was no reason for it to happen, nor of that character even being in the movie at all. Period. Which is the main character's ex-wife, Brenda Lopez, which is played by Carolina Bartzak. I don't know. She just she reminded me a lot of Amanda Peet from 2012, being the ex-wife and mom, and so on and so forth. But very small role, very useless. I don't really see any reason to her character other than the fact of her being a grounded character on Earth, during the meantime, while everything's going on in the moon. This is why it's so hard for me to find faith in people if there ever was an apocalypse. Because people go crazy. People go out of their minds, stealing stuff. There is even a reference in this movie where someone's stealing money, and then the other dude, he tells him, why are you stealing money for? That stuff is useless. It might as well just be toilet paper. So it's like, yeah, money is useless, but yet you're going off and you're stealing it. It's like the mentality, the humane mentality is completely vanquished because of this disaster that's going on with the moon falling, and everybody is very much, man for yourselves. So I don't know. There's this character there that's like very annoying as well too, going after our earthbound characters trying to fight for survival, and yet you got these a-holes chasing after them. It feels like The Walking Dead, just like these people, they're bullies and they got guns and taking anything that they can away from them, oxygen tanks, their vehicles, I don't know. It's just, all that is just like, it just makes me feel like if that were to really happen, with the disaster, I would say yes, for a fact that it's sad to say that humanity, the mentality of human beings will completely be erased, and we'll just act like ravaged animals. It's just sad to say, but that's how I would feel towards the whole thing, because of how this world is just, everything is in a way still put together, but because of law and order and religion, and then when the earth comes to a point where it's in its, final stages of annihilation, everybody just doesn't care anymore about how the way the world was orderly put together. They just said, screw the world, screw everybody, every man for himself. I don't know. It's just sad. But my main problem here is, of course, obviously, the ending. Like I said, I was kind of hoping that this movie would have been the moon crashing into the earth as a natural disaster. That wasn't the case. Somehow this nanotechnology thing, I don't know what it is, but according to the way it was explained, is that the moon is hollow. And when you go inside the moon, it's like this gigantic spaceship. Like the moon is not just a floating rock floating in space. It's a freaking spaceship, but it's not by aliens. It's actually by our ancestors, according to what they say. And that this creature, this nanotech creature, is not an alien. It's actually nanotechnology created by the AI that actually went Skynet on us, before our time. I don't know. It's hard to explain because, you have to be like actual scientists and know rocket science in order to explain as to how all of this came to be. But it would just all sounded ridiculous, and it really threw me off. Once all of that was explained right away, I said, "No, that's it. I'm done with this movie." This was really it just threw me off. It was complete nonsense. Like I said, there was minimal parts of the movie that I really did enjoy, and I wish that I could have seen more of that, which is, of course, pretty much the basis of how character and story developments were made, in that the fact that we were going on this adventure trying to stop the moon from orbiting into the Earth. So I don't know. I just thought that it was a really neat story and a way to create a really great disaster movie. But all in all, towards the end, I'd have to say that this movie was a disaster of its own. Rotten Tomatoes went ahead and gave this movie a 38%. And also, too, the way they ended the movie was weird, because the Casey character sacrifices himself. He goes all Bruce Willis to destroying this nano tech AI looking thing. He sacrifices himself and he dies, but he becomes a hologram, a holographic image of himself that his consciousness was scanned and now part of the moon. And the pilot of that moon, which is pretty much the good guy, takes form of his mother and says, okay, you're part of the moon, and now let's get ready to get started with something. And and it just gives us a question mark. Okay, like, whoa, what does that mean? And it just comes to an end. And it's like as if it opened up for a sequel, like as if there is going to be a sequel. I can honestly say to you for a fact that this movie is not successful enough to have its own sequel. It's just like Independence Day Resurgence, the way it ends in a cliffhanger, opening up to a trilogy of a final battle against the aliens, getting us somewhat excited to see what happens next, when honestly the movie wasn't even successful of itself to even develop a third movie. So I didn't buy that at all. I just felt that the movie of itself alone was no success. I don't know. I heard before that Roland Emmerich made a complaint saying that his disaster movies are not as great as they used to be because of superhero movies. I'm like, don't blame the superhero movies. People are just astonished by superhero movies nowadays. If you want to, how about if you want to have a successful disaster movie, then do a superhero disaster movie. I mean, Man of Steel did that. A lot of people made a complaint about it, but I think that if anything, Roland Emmerich, I think that you would be really great if you did a disaster movie based off of superheroes. That I really wouldn't have a problem with that. Avengers have done that too, with the Battle of New York and in Sokovia. It took a massive effect on the people of the world. So, food for thought there. I really do think that's something that you should work on with your next project, maybe. And I think that you'll get a lot of people, a lot of audiences interested in getting to go and seeing that. Because a lot of people did get to go and see Glass and Split, which is superhero genres, but not based off of superheroes from comic books. Just an idealistic story all of its own. So, but, like I said, food for thought here. If Emmerich decides to go ahead and go off and do something like that, chances are you caught my attention, and I'll buy myself another ticket. Like what you did with Moonfall. You really caught me by the idealism of the moon crashing into Earth. And I saw the trailer, and I thought, that's magnificent. That's amazing. I like that. I like that idea. Original material. Great. Bravo. I do want to see that. But make the film good. Have a story. All this just feels like it was just all made up just for the hell of it. Like, it was cheap story writing. But long story short, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 38%. For me, I'm going to have to agree, but go a little lower, giving it a 27%. A lot of the movie I did not like at all. And would it be a movie that I would like to watch again? Possibly, maybe once or twice, but nowhere in the near future. I would say years down the line, possibly. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen Independence Day Resurgence. That movie was god-awful. I probably watched it once or twice as well, too, a few years after its theatrical release. But yeah, I give it 27%. But anyways, it was really hard to say that I love to go to the movies. I love to watch any movie genre in particularly, except for a demonic horror movie. I'm not very fond of that. I did go watch Jackass, and I don't think I would ever watch another Jackass movie in theaters again, because, like I said, the humor that I said in my review, the humor is not really reaching to my expectations as I did when I was a younger kid watching the other films. Yeah, that's my review for Moonfall, everybody. The question is, what did you guys think? Have you guys gone out and watched this movie? It is out right now in your local theater. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have already watched it and had the same review towards the entire massive disaster of a film of its own. So, but what did you guys think? If you have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, please feel free to leave it down in the comment section in the bottom, and let's have an awesome time talking about this movie or any movies that you like to talk about in general, because I love to talk about movies, but most importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And don't forget that you can check out some more of my videos on Facebook and on YouTube. Just look me up at Awesome Joe Movie Reviews on Facebook and on YouTube. Don't forget to click on that like and subscribe button there, everybody. I really do appreciate everybody's support in my channel. It is a huge personal hobby of mine, and I love to share it amongst all of you wonderful viewers out there. So, still working on Peacemaker. I think that the season finale is coming out this week, which is tomorrow. So, crossing my fingers, hoping that I give out a good review off of that show. There is still so much about the show that I would really love to express and talk about with everybody, but there's just still so much that needs to happen. Because Valentine's Day, I had a lot of hard work done for Valentine's Day to make sure that the love of my life, my wife, was very emotionally loved and satisfied that entire Valentine's Day, which of course she was, and as do I, vice versa. So I'm always constantly busy. I always try to do the best I can to open up my time for many other future projects. But I'm only a one hardworking man trying to do everything at the same time. I'm a terrible multitasker. So, but I try to do the best I can to the best of my capabilities to get the majority of it done. So anyways, everybody, I'm Awesome Joe. Thanks you guys once more again. Keep on living the dream. And as always, stay awesome. Thanks you guys once more again, and I'll see everybody in the next video, which should be Death in the Nile, I believe it is, along with Murder on the Orient Murder on the Orient Express, which I still haven't watched. Might do a back-to-back review off of that one. And I know that there's another one coming out this week, so I'm going to be pretty behind. But like I said, we'll try to do my best. So see you guys in the next video. Bye.